Have you ever had a moment with your teen where you had every intention of staying calm, and then suddenly you're reacting before you even have time to think? Like, something in your body just takes over. A lot of moms think this means that they're failing, but what's actually happening is their nervous system is getting activated. So once you understand that, then it becomes so much easier to respond differently. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what's going on and then give you 3 simple tools that you can use immediately to stay calm in those moments. If we haven't met before, I'm Abby. I work with moms of teens to help them move from constant conflict and reactivity to calm, more connected relationships. By the way, if this is something you struggle with in that moment, I created something really simple called the 3-minute reset script. It walks you through exactly what to do when your teen is pushing back or shutting down so that you don't have to figure it out while you're feeling triggered. I'll link that below. So before we get into the 3 tools, I'm going to set the stage for you. I want you to imagine you went into your teen's room and suddenly there's all the 50 cups that have been missing, just strewn about. Or you got the notification on your phone that there's another missing assignment. Or maybe you went to go get the laundry out of the dryer and it turns out they did not swap it, that it's all still sitting and it's cold and damp and kind of smells. And realizing there's different levels of frustration with these scenarios, it's all rooted in the same thing, which is these are the scenarios that lead into conflict and frustration and can sometimes turn into yelling. So that's the scene we're working from. Fill in the blank with whatever scenario comes to mind for you. This is where we're going to set the stage. But before this becomes a reaction, before this turns into yelling and more conflict, this is where I want you to anchor yourself into these 3 tools. So the first tool, I want you to pause the reaction. Now, if you've ever seen the movie Click with Adam Sandler, he has that universal remote where he can pause and play and fast forward his way through life. I want you to think about pausing your reaction just like with that remote. And I understand that your teen getting in trouble might be warranted. But before you start to launch in with all of your frustration, I want you to first pause your reaction, right? And it's going to be hard. It's going to be frustrating at first because you're at your wit's end. But what this does is it's going to set this conversation up to be a lot more productive. And so when you're pausing your reaction, you have to literally do some self-reflection and figure out, what the heck? Where is this coming from? Am I feeling upset and angry with my teen because they did not listen to me, or because this inconvenienced me, or because I'm concerned about their grades, right? Like there's all these thoughts that come up, which actually leads us into the second step, which is we are going to name what is going on, right? So I want you to name what you're feeling. I want you to name what your thoughts are. I want you to name even just like the scenario that's been going on for you lately. Because part of what we're naming and naming what's happening is it again buys us more time to figure out the full picture. So did you just come home from a rough day at work? Were you sitting in traffic and you had a bunch of people cut you off because everybody's in a rush today? Did you perhaps get in trouble at work, or are you having conflict with somebody else in your life? Again, it doesn't let your teen off the hook, but it's part of naming what's happening for you so that they're not just going to get the full unearthing of everything that's been going on in your world. So again, going back, we are going to pause the reaction so that second, we can name what's happening. Because the third part is we want to be able to repair. And now this repair can sometimes look like I got mad and I went and I picked up all of those wet clothes and I just screamed at my teen. I was like, what is wrong with you? We've talked about this so many times. I'm gonna have to do another load of laundry. Maybe you went into their room and you saw all the cups and you're like, well, that's why we've been having to use everybody's water bottles and I've been having to hand wash cups and I didn't know what was going on. Why is it so filthy in here? Or even with the grades when you're like, you have another missing assignment. This is the 3rd one this month and I don't know how you're going to keep your grades up in that moment, right? Like we know how these scenarios go. And so sometimes repairing after looks like taking a moment to reconnect with your teen. Did you say something in a tone of voice that was not the most helpful? Did you say something that you really didn't mean? And this again does not let them off the hook. Part of the repair is so that you're able to then eventually have the conversation about what's actually happening. But more often than not, we're having to sit there and have a conversation beforehand because there's been conflict, because there's been hurt feelings, because there's been things said or done that were not healthy or helpful to the relationship. And sometimes that goes both ways. And thinking about repair, sometimes that might be you asking for the repair that you need from your teen. Doesn't mean that they're in charge of you or you're responsible for your emotions. It just means letting them know, like, hey, I really do need your help when it comes to the laundry, to try to be more mindful, because then it makes my job a little bit harder. Right? And then that kind of sets the stage for them to be like, yeah, I'm so sorry. I need to remember. I'll try to set a reminder on my phone next time, or I might need you to text me. But it's having repair on that end, or maybe even repair on yours if you're needing to say, I'm so sorry that I said XYZ. That's where the other two tools tend to come in, because you're trying to pause your reaction and then you're trying to name what's happening so you don't necessarily get to that boiling point. But that repair piece is also really important, so that if you do blow up, you can come back and make things right with your teen. And I want you to hear this. You do not have to get through these moments perfectly in order to have a healthy relationship with your teen. Again, that's part of why repair is such a huge part of any and all relationship. But part of what's going to be helpful in having that healthy relationship is that you're showing up consistently, not perfectly, and continually trying something new and different that's going to be best for both of you. And I realize knowing what to do is one thing, but being able to access it in the moment is a different thing. That's exactly why I created my 3-minute reset script. So if this is something that's regularly happening in your home, I really recommend you grabbing it. It gives you something in those moments when your teen is pushing back or shutting down, so you don't have to try to figure it out when you're in the moment and already feeling overwhelmed. And if you're wanting more support with this, like how to shift these patterns long term, that's what I support moms with inside my membership. So if this resonated with you, I want you to watch this video next, because it's actually going to help you stop yelling when you're in those moments.